Welcome back, friends. Good afternoon. Today we will be starting with the first chapter of history, and the first chapter of history is about historiography. And in that we'll first talk about development in West. Now, first of all, what is the meaning of historiography? Okay, it's the nothing but a critical research of historical documents, okay, and its narrative we historical books are written by thorough research. Okay, once the scholars do the research, they write the narrative, and that is called as what? Historiography. Okay, now before that, let us understand the importance of history. See, history is different from what other branches of science. Science, take example, physics or chemistry. Okay, these two fields have got a number of laws in them. Okay, and these laws have to be confirmed by doing experiments in the laboratories. By doing experiments, we can prove those laws, irrespective of when you conduct the experiment. The same experiment can be would have been conducted 100 years back, and 100 years from now we can carry out the same experiment. There won't be any change in these laws. Getting it? Talk about biology. By studying the tissues, plants, animals and other things, we get the complete idea of the biological specimens and other things. So by doing experiments or observations, we can understand biology, chemistry or even physics. But history is not like that. History is something which is about the events which have occurred in the past. So to confirm those events, we cannot go in the past. It is impossible for us to go in the past, right? And what does history tell us? What is the importance of history? See, history tells us the chronology, sequence of the events which took place in the past. Okay, forget about all other things. I will take example of the present situation in the world. Presently, we all know we are suffering from, the whole world is under a grip of coronavirus. Okay, COVID-19 we call it. Now, after 20 years from now, the books will have reference of this particular virus, from where this coronavirus started, okay, how it spread to the world, which countries were mostly affected by it, what were the symptoms of coronavirus. All these things will be found in the books, because 20 years from now this event will be called as historical event. So history is nothing about wars or something we call it as about political leaders or political events, etc. History is related to each and every part of our human life. It may be economics, it may be science, any branch of science, it may be geography, it may be history, it may be arts, literature. Each and every branch of our life is having a past, and study of that past is called as history. Understanding this? So history is not simply limited to wars or political events or political leaders. It is related to everything which has occurred in the past. Now let's talk about now historiography, and in this topic, in this chapter, we'll talk about how the development of historical research started in West. West means what? See, West means we talk about Europe. Western countries means European countries. Okay, before I start with the main topic, understand this. To do historical research, what things are required? Okay, first of all, suppose you want to write a book on certain historical event. which has occurred in the past. What you'll do, first of all, you should get a proper expert who is having good knowledge of history. He will guide you about all the events. Suppose you have got some historical document you can understand. Suppose I got a letter of a King X who had written a letter to King Y. Okay, I got a very old letter. Understand this? Now, first of all, we have to check whether this particular document, the letter written by King X to King Y, is really genuine or not. Genuine means what? There should be experts to check whether the quality of the paper or the type of paper was used during that period. Secondly, looking at the way of writing. Okay, way of writing. Secondly, the language in which it is written. Understood? All these things should be thoroughly checked by the experts, and then we can verify what that particular document is genuine or not. Getting it? So these things are a must. These things are required for historical research. Okay, you require experts to guide you, and we also require historical references. Now in this chapter we will again and again come across this word historical references. Means the research which has been already done by some individuals or some historians. These will be used by the other historians as a reference for referring, understanding, and these historical references act as a guide for the new historians who want to write a new narration for the history. Okay, so again and again these particular words will be used, that is historical references. Okay, so for writing a historical narrative, what things are essential, that we'll see on the board. Okay, look at the board. See, for writing a historical narrative, what things are required? First of all, there is a need of examining the relevant references. We should study the references which are required for that particular historical narrative. Okay, examining the relevant references, historical references. Secondly, this is first, this is second. Okay, critically examining various sources. The sources from which we are getting information, whether they are genuine or not, they should be critically examined. Okay, otherwise we may be giving a narrative which may be fake. Third is formulating the hypothesis. Okay, formation, we should form a proper hypothesis of the particular sequence of events, when they are taking place and how they should be properly ordered and how they are linked with each other. That is formulating of hypothesis. Fourth, formulating relevant questions in view of historical references. Okay, whatever historical references we are getting or we are referring, you should frame certain questions regarding it. You should formulate certain questions to check whether the narrative is up to mark or not. Okay, the references are really relevant or not. Relevant means what? Relevant means really important or not. Okay, sometimes irrelevant references can spoil the historical narrative. So there should be formulating of relevant questions in view of historical references. Fifth, understanding the references regarding time and space of given historical events, and also various conceptual frameworks of historical research. Okay, now what is the meaning of this? Understanding the references regarding time and space. We should have proper idea about the historical information we get from the references regarding what? Time, regarding that particular period as well as that particular place. Time and space means what? The particular period and place. Okay. So, and also the various conceptual frameworks of historical. Now each writer, each historian has his own concept of writing history. We have to understand the conceptual frameworks of different writers who have done what? Historical research. Okay. And last thing is collecting historical information, highlighting the processes that led to historical transitions. See, in history, many changes took place in society, in culture. When we talk about rulers, political leaders, etc., we have to collect information highlighting the processes. What are the reasons that led to the historical transitions? Okay, so all these 6 points we have to remember, and based on these 6 points we can write a proper historical narrative. Are you understanding? So historical narrative requires all these 6 things, then only it can be up to mark. Okay. Now let's talk about the various disciplines or branches linked with historical research. Okay, there are different branches in historical research and many of you may not be knowing about it. So you have heard of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Okay, these are the places where we found the ancient civilizations and they were buried under the earth. By excavations, the archaeologists found the remains of earthen pots, or even the remains of the cities were found at these places, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Now the people who locate such places and do the excavations, they do outdoor work, and such a branch is that of what? Archaeology. So first is archaeology. Second is archival science. Archival science is about archives. The historical documents are preserved according to their periods in libraries. Okay, they are also called as archives. So that is also one branch of historical research, archival science. Third is manuscriptology. What is meant by manuscripts? Manuscripts are handwritten records. Handwritten. The letters which were handwritten or any documents which were handwritten will be coming under manuscript, and study of that manuscripts is called as manuscriptology. Similarly, at many places we get inscriptions on metals or earthen pots or even inside the caves. Inscriptions means certain designs or inscriptions done on the on metal articles or even earthen pots, etc. And study of those inscriptions is called as epigraphy. So manuscriptology, epigraphy. Fifth is analysis of lettering style. Now, although language was same, suppose during the Maratha Empire, the language was same, the lettering style was different in different periods. So by studying the lettering style, we can get idea about the period from which the document belong. Okay. Linguistic is about study of languages, different languages during the historical periods. Okay. Numismatics. Seventh is numismatics. Numismatics is the study of coins relevant to those particular periods. What were the coins made up of? Which alloys were used? Okay. What were the inscriptions on the coins? All these things come under what? Numismatics. And eighth is genealogy. Genealogy means lineage. Lineage. Now, lineage means what? What's the meaning of lineage? See, lineage helps us to know the order in which the rulers ruled the particular kingdom. We all know about the Mughal rulers. There is a sequence which you have to remember. The first Mughal ruler was Taimur. Later on, his son Babur, then Humayun, Akbar, then Jahangir, then Shah Jahan. After Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb, and so on. This is a sequence or lineage of the Mughal rulers. Okay, so the study of this lineage is also called as genealogy. So, what is the meaning of historiography? As I told you, it is a critical analysis or critical research of historical documents and writing its narrative. That is called as historiography. See, a historian may not include each and every event of the past. Do you understand? So many events take place throughout the world, every day, right? So the historians have to decide which events are really important, okay, which are relevant and which are irrelevant. Understanding? And those events are selected and those events are written in the narrative. Okay. Similarly, each historian has its own way, or own concept of writing the historical matter, historical narrative. This concept may differ from one historian to other. One historian may give more importance to one particular period or one particular part of the history, but the other historian may totally neglect it. Do you understand? Like in our Indian freedom struggle, different writers have focused on different political leaders. Okay, that doesn't mean that some are correct and some are wrong. It all depends on the particular concept, which framework which the historian is following. So to get a better idea of history, there is a need to study each and every book or the books written by different authors or different historians. Then only we can get a complete idea, complete knowledge of that particular topic. Okay. Now one more thing. See, in ancient times, there are no historical books. Books were not written in history. Later, in the modern age, okay, right from 17th century, this particular method of writing the historical document started. But before that, there was no written form of history. Then what was the idea of historical, how to remember the historical events? The historical events were verbally told in the form of stories, in the form of songs, or in the form of ballads. Ballads means what? Plays. They would pass from one generation to another. Okay? Like take one example, good example. In Maharashtra, each and every child knows about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Now the stories of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj are told to the children by their mothers right from their childhood. Before they come in the syllabus, the children know about the valor and the statesmanship of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. In this way, the historical events pass on from one generation to another in a form of folklores, songs, plays, ballads, etc. Okay, that was the earliest form of what? Historical narratives. There was an earlier form of what? Historical narratives in the form of folklores or songs or ballads or even simple stories. But later on, in Germany, a proper university came into existence where historical research started, and this was the beginning of history in written form. Okay, historical narratives, after deep research, they were found in the written form. Okay, today we will close for this topic. Tomorrow we will continue.